High Voltage Overdrive launches in just about 2 hours after this video goes live, and if you want the best decks to win the mode and breeze through those missions without doing too much experimentation, these are the 3 lists I'd start with. Let's dive right into it so you can get out there and just breeze through that rewards track. Hey, what's up everybody? Kicker of Elves here. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day wherever you at. High Voltage Overdrive is back. It's launching in just a few hours from the time of this video coming out, and I'm here with the 3 best decks for you to jump in and start kicking some butt in the High Voltage Overdrive missions. Now, for those of you that might not remember, High Voltage Overdrive was the game mode that brought the Kid Omega fiasco, and Kid Omega and all the controversy surrounding him kind of superseded any real discussion of the mode. This is a spin on High Voltage. 4 turns instead of 3, still doing the whole thing where you get increased max energy, but there's this whole reactor mechanic where each player's deck gets a set number of random cards shuffled into it, a la RSM, but each of those random cards have +1 power, -1 cost. So the randomness is offset, and as you play those charged cards, you are filling up the reactor for it to do some other crazy random thing. A lot of randomness, but if you want to speed through that rewards track and just collect those valuable rewards as soon as possible, these are the decks you need to take on the ladder. High Voltage Overdrive hasn't been back since June, so there could be some iteration midweek as people start to experiment a lot more with the cards that have been released since, well, June. But here's some great decks that you can use right away. For my lower CL fans, people who are, not super collection complete, I think this list is a really great starting point. Got this from Den over at Marvel Snap Zone. Make sure if you're into reading about Marvel Snap and just watching videos, Marvel Snap Zone, excellent website. The work Den does is incredible, along with the other writers there, Canadian Alfredo. Myself, I wrote there for a little while as well. I'm not plugging myself. I make videos more. Anyway, let's talk about the deck. This is a Patriot Khazar Blue Marvel Onslaught style deck. Because of the increased energy, we're going to be able to easily get out cards like Onslaught, Blue Marvel, Khazar, even just Patriot, and then just depending on what you're able to do, flood the board with Ultron and just have a supercharge, Onslaught onto Khazar plus Patriot. That's a ton of additional power onto those drones from Ultron. Juggernaut for a little bit of disruption. Echo can deal with ongoing scams from other people trying to do the same sort of buff strategy as you, or Rogue to steal and do stuff as well. If you are not collection complete, don't have all the fancy Series 5 cards, this is a very respectable list that you can take onto the missions and crush things. Of course, with the way the missions are structured, you are going to want to there are going to be times where it's like the mission is just play 5-cost cards and you don't need to win matches in this. I've certainly done things in the past where I just make a deck full of 5-cost cards and just play as many of those as possible to chip away at those missions. But if you are going in there and being like, hey, I want to win, I want to complete missions on my roster here while also trying to win the game to get those extra volts, this is going to support those lower collection level players. Another great route I've found for these limited time game modes is going the Clog route. There are people who are going to be trying to use the extra energy to do like big Wong, Black Panther, Zola combinations. And while those are great, doing the Wong, Panther, Zola stuff can be fun. If you just fill their board with junk a la Green Goblin, Vipering over a Hood, doing Annihilus stuff here. If you're clogging with Doc Ock, honestly, you might want to switch out Shang-Chi here for a Luna Snow. I'm forgetting if she's banned or not. If she's not banned, Luna Snow with Cosmic Ghost Rider to just get rid of the Ice Cube. Same sort of ideas like that. Cannonball without Mercury here is to just move stuff around and be overall disruptive. Shadow King to shut down some of the cards that are going to go over the top. I think a Clog game plan. This is clearly a deck archetype the developers do not like, and for good reason. No one likes getting clogged, not the most fun thing in the world. But in these kind of game modes where people are going to get extra greedy with stuff, tossing over a Green Goblin, taking away their key combo piece. And then also just for the simple fact that folks have cards that did not start in their deck in there, you're not seeing what cards are being shuffled in. There might just be some random card in their hand that they really don't want to play, like, oh, I don't want to play this Enchantress right now on top of my Moonstone ongoing cards, and you pull that in with Doc Ock, and well, you can see how that goes. Annihilus has proven to can still be a very strong card here with Sentry and the Hood, and if you get your Green Goblin clogged or whatever, and even on ladder, there was a lot of folks with the launch of Shulao who I'm curious to see. Shulao is so dominant in the ladder and conquest meta of January 2026, but with just the way that High Voltage has fewer games, granted you're getting more energy, so there's more opportunities to play more than one card per turn to meet Shulao's condition. But I just don't know if he's going to be as I don't know if it's going to be like, oh, we'll cut CGR here and just throw Shulao into everything. That has to be seen, but this exact package, this Clog focus, is going to be very, very strong with the amount of opponents trying to really maximize their board space to do some crazy combos. So these two, think these are great. These are both from Den over at Marvel Snap Zone. This is the deck I'm probably going to focus on the most, and one of the things I do love about these limited time game modes, I don't love, well, one of the things I love, here's something I don't love. One of the things I love is that it does encourage very different decks than what you're typically playing on ladder. This isn't for folks like me who, speed ran to infinite. I'll have a video on the channel probably tomorrow about the main decks I used to hit infinite in the first 2 days of the season. For people like me who did that and just played a lot of very, here's what the meta is, and I've just been zeroing in on that. These limited time game modes can be a nice break and just be like, here's something different. What I don't like about is typically there's a lot of grind associated. This is more of a me thing, but when I get the gold pass, I feel compelled to complete that to get the max value out of it instead of just the new card. And by the end of it, I'm normally like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over. But at least, launch day, you're watching this video, you're ready to go on there and kick some butt. Very refreshing. Now, what this deck is aiming to do, and this is a revised deck from Glazer, Snap Judgments puts out great videos. When there was High Voltage Overdrive was around last time, again, June of 2025, last year, which feels like a whole lifetime ago. This was a popular list, and with some modifications, really just one modification, bringing in Chamber, who's an incredible card that released last month. If you've been playing the game, you've undoubtedly seen a good amount of Chamber. What we're doing here is having the Living Tribunal. So we're splitting across our big power. Blob can be extra strong in this mode because of those additional, whatever they're called, charged cards in your deck. You're more likely to get Blob over his, 13 power limit or traditional limit. Strange Supreme as well. If you watched Marvel Snap Meta Shenanigans episode 5, which aired, late last week, our viewer card of the week for Matty H was Strange Supreme. We looked into his stats and Untapped Premium data, and there just wasn't a lot of Strange Supreme action. He can be freaking phenomenal in High Voltage Overdrive because of those random cards. And those random cards, you're going to get like a 1/5 domino, and Strange Supreme eats that and gets a 7 power bonus from that. That's excellent. Mockingbird also, if you're not playing out Strange Supreme, or even if you are sometimes, you're playing those cheaper created cards, you get an early Mockingbird down. And then similarly, Isan here feels excellent as you're taking down those cheaper created cards. And Isan, you do have that agency to not play him if you see like, these created cards are going to really mess me up. But you're doing that. You got the Omega Red for scaling. Havoc you can play out on the last turn or even turn 2 of turn 2 or turn 3, because the -1 energy doesn't really matter as much when you're just getting tons and tons and tons of it, and just get him out early. And he can easily be a freaking 2/7, 2/10, and you are a-okay with that. Chamber, because of the extra energy, we have so many cards that are 5. Over half of our cards are more than 5 costs, so he can be an easy 2/11 or more. Iron Lad, copying any of the cards in this list really creates extra flexibility. Like you're happy to. There's not a single hit in here where you're like, dang, I hit it with Iron Lad. Like if you hit Living Tribunal, you can skip playing Living Tribunal and just focus on Isan Red Hulk. If you hit Blob, you're happy to play 2 Blobs, especially if you have Living Tribunal to spread things around. All around, this is a very fun deck. I like the Cannonball without Mercury action here. I'm not showing off this variant. No, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? How dare you accuse me of that? I love Iron Lad too. It's been a while since you played. I'm not showing off this horrifying variant. What are you doing? But anyway, without rambling so much, those are the 3 decks I'm taking into High Voltage Overdrive on day 1. Hopefully you can take these onto I always want to say onto the ladder. It's not a ladder. Hopefully you can take these into the mode, crush the competition, breeze through your daily missions. If you want to maximize value on that and you're picking up the gold pass, make sure you are finishing those missions the same way with your dailies every 8 hours. So when they refresh, you're able to get back in. That's going to give you the most volts and just enjoy the most of that reward shop. If you want more deck guides like these, in-depth reviews on how to hit infinite or climb the rank ladder, card reviews, meta opinions, anything you could possibly want to get better at Marvel Snap, you're in the right place on the Kicker of Elves channel. Hit that subscribe button. We are so close to our 1,000 sub goal. It's going to help us monetize the channel and break into the Marvel Snap creator program. Leave a comment on the video. Are you excited this mode came back? Are you surprised they brought it back after all the controversy surrounding it? Even if you don't want to talk about Marvel Snap stuff, just sound off in the comments below. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. I'm Kicker of Elves. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.